So we will start with the next type of numerical, and here we'll have to find out the approximate cost. So the numerical states that prepare the approximate cost or approximate estimate for RCC frame structure to be constructed in a Mumbai region. So assume a suitable data. Cost of construction of superstructure is 8,000 rupees per meter square. Okay, so this much data is only given to us. So from that we'll have to find out the approximate cost or approximate estimate for this particular structure. So in what is the difference between this numerical and previously solved numerical? In previously solved numericals we have got the data that this structure is G+1, G+4, G+5, and carpet area was given to us. Then we'll have to assume some data regarding to circulation area and area occupied by walls and columns and everything. But here they have not mentioned what type of structure it is. They have just mentioned RCC frame structure, but they have not mentioned how many stories and everything. They have just given you the diagram or the plan for that particular structure. So from this plan we have to construct two rooms, which is having one room is having a dimension of, let's say this is in terms of meters, so dimensions are in meters. So one room is having a dimension 3 by 3 meters and the other room is having a dimension 4 by 3 meters. Okay, so these two rooms we have to construct, and the cost of construction of superstructure is given to us as 8,000 rupees per meter square, and we have to solve this particular numerical using plinth area method. Okay, so how will you proceed with this, or how will you approach this kind of a numerical? So as we have seen previously also, plinth area was equal to carpet area plus area occupied by walls and columns plus area occupied by circulation area, right? So here there is no circulation area as such is there. So this will be again carpet area. So carpet area is this much. This will be your carpet area 3 by 3. Okay, and this will be your carpet area 4 by 3. So carpet area you can find out. Then you will have to find out the area occupied by all these walls and the C1 and C2 columns which are there. The first step will be to find out a plinth area. So how will you find out a plinth area from this? The plinth area was equal to carpet area plus area occupied by walls and columns and circulation area, right? But here as such there is no circulation area, so we'll have to find out carpet area and wall area. So how will I find out this carpet area and area occupied by walls and columns from this particular plan? So can I just do one thing? I will just mark the endpoints. So this will be the end point for this corner, this will be the end point of this corner, this will be the third end point, and this will be the fourth end point. Okay, so if I just connect all these end points, what I will get is one rectangle, and whatever the area that will be inside this particular rectangle. So this is if I connect this end points, I will get this outer edge of the wall, I will get the outer edge of this wall, I will get the outer edge of this wall, and again if I want to connect these 2 points, so I will get the outer edge of these 2 points. Okay, is it correct? So whatever area that we have to find out is within this particular rectangle. Is it correct? So if I find out this particular area of this rectangle, so I will get the total plinth area. These are nothing but dimensions which are given to you are inner to inner dimensions. So this is 3 by 3, this is inner to inner dimension. Okay, so this will give you 3 by 3 is nothing but a carpet area. This is also inner to inner dimension, so 4 meter by 3 meter, so it is inner to inner dimension, so it will give you a carpet area. But we have to find out considering the outer dimensions. So how will you find out the outer dimensions? So we'll have to add the wall thickness. So how we have to first find out what is the wall thickness which is given to us. Okay, so if we see over here in this particular dimension, or in this particular dimension, this is center to center they are saying. So from this particular center to this particular center, the dimension is 3.23 meters. Okay, so also for this, from this center to this center, the dimension is 3.23 meters. So can I say it will be this, how they have arrived to this 3.23? So can I say this will be the whole column dimension, or this wall dimension will be 0.23. So this wall will be of 0.23 meters. So whenever I am going to find out a center to center distance, so I will be considering just this half portion of this particular wall. So this half portion will be how much? 0.23 by 2. Okay, plus this internal dimensions. So internal dimensions from inner wall to this inner wall, so it will be 3 meters. So plus 3 meters. And can I say from this particular edge, so from this edge to this particular center, the dimension again will be 0.23 by 2. So if I add all these things, I will get this particular dimension, that is 3.23 meters. Likewise here also let's say this is 4.23 meters. So from this particular center to this particular center, my dimension is 4.23 meters. But inner to inner dimensions, so that is from this wall or this edge to this edge, the total length is 4 meter as mentioned here. Inner to inner dimensions are 4 meters. But overall total dimensions from center to center is 4.23. So from this center to this edge, the distance will be 0.23 by 2. Yes, plus this internal wall thickness or internal wall length will be 4 meters, and this again from this particular edge of the wall to this center of the particular wall, this distance will be again 0.23 by 2. So if I add all these things, I will get this particular dimensions 4.23. So can I say each and every wall thickness over here is 0.23 meters? So this will be again 0.23. Here also this particular wall thickness is also 0.23. This wall thickness is also 0.23. So if you can see, for each and every wall, the wall thickness is 0.23 meters. So we have to find out, for plinth area we have to consider wall thickness also, and considering that wall thickness we have to find out the outer area. So here we'll have to find out the length and breadth. Okay, so plinth area will be equal to L into B. So we'll have to find out first the length. So we will consider this horizontal wall as a length, or we'll have to find out the length of this horizontal wall. Okay, so what will be the total length of this particular wall? From this particular point to this point we'll have to find out the length. So this wall thickness is 0.23. okay, plus this from this edge, inner edge, this will be 3 meters. So plus 3 meters, plus then this wall thickness is 0.23. okay, plus this 4 meters, and plus this wall thickness is again 0.23. So what will be the total length of this particular wall? 7.69 meters. So length of this wall is 7.69 meters, and the length of then vertical wall we will have to find out. So that will give us the breadth. So this will be how much? 0.23, this particular wall thickness 0.23, plus this inner to inner dimension, that is 3 meters, and this particular wall thickness. So it will be 0.23 plus 3 meters plus 0.23 meters So it will be how much? 3.46 meters. Okay, so 3.46 meter is the width of this particular structure, and the length is 7.69 meters. So if I consider these dimensions, it will cover outer to outer points of this particular structure. So if we are considering outer to outer dimensions, we will get the total plinth area. So plinth area will be equal to 7.69 into 3.46. so it will work out to be how much? 26.61 meter square. Okay, so this much of a plinth area we have calculated. Okay, so once we have got the plinth area, then the next process is same. So next will be cost of construction of superstructure. So cost of construction of superstructure is equal to area, that is plinth area which we have got, and into the cost per unit of plinth area. So that is nothing but the rate. So plinth area that we have got is 26.61 into rate is 8,000 rupees per meter square. So this will work out to be how much? 26.61 meter square into 8,000 rupees per meter square, 2,12,859.20 rupees. Okay, so then once this cost of construction is done, then we'll have to find out cost of construction of substructure. So cost of construction of substructure it will be 20% of superstructure. So 20% of superstructure will be how much? 20% of 2,12,000 rupees. So it will work out to be 42,571. Okay, 42,571.84 rupees. Okay, so this was the cost of construction of substructure. So then we'll have to find out the cost of construction of a structure. Cost of construction of a structure will be equal to cost of construction of superstructure plus substructure. So it will be 2,12,000 rupees plus this 42,571 rupees. So this will work out to be 2,55,431.04 rupees. So this was the total cost of construction of a structure. Then we'll have to provide some services. So additional cost we'll have to bear for provision of a services. So additional cost for services. So we'll have to provide water supply, then sanitary services, then electrification services, after it architectural expenses, and miscellaneous services will have to provide. So it will depend from project to project, building to building. So for water supply we'll have to provide 5% of the total cost of construction of a structure. For sanitary services again 5%, for electrification 9%, for architectural expenses 1%, and miscellaneous services 5% of the total cost of the project or total cost of construction of a structure we'll have to keep in a reserve. So if nothing is given to you, if they are saying ki assume some particular data, so in that case we will have to assume these percentages, or if in some cases they have mentioned ki use this particular percentage, so in that case whatever they have given that we will have to use. Okay, So water supply 5% of the cost of construction of structure. So 5% of 2,55,000. So it will be merely 12,771.55 rupees. Okay. So this again 5% will be 12,771.55 rupees. This 5% will also be the same 12,771.55 rupees. This 9% for electrification means 9% of 2,55,000. So 9% of 2,55,000 will be 22,988.91 rupees. And 1% for architectural expenses. So 1% of 2,55,431 will be 2,554.31 rupees. Okay. So this was the cost of provision of various services. So total cost of providing a services. So total cost for services will be water supply system plus sanitary services plus electrification. So we'll have to add all this cost. So if we add all this cost, the total cost will work out to be 63,857.76 rupees. So it will be 63,857.76 rupees. So once this is done, so we'll have to find out the overall cost of the project. So overall cost of the project will be the cost of constructing a structure plus cost of providing services. So cost of providing a structure is 2,55,431 rupees plus cost of providing the services is 63,857 rupees. So if we'll have to add these two things. So once we add these two things, we will get the overall cost, and it will work out to be 3,19,288.80 rupees. Okay. So this will be the overall cost of the project. So once this is done, the next thing is we'll have to add some cost for contingency. So the next thing will be contingencies. And for contingency, we'll have to consider 5% of the overall cost. And for work charge establishment and tools and plants and machineries, we'll have to consider 10% of the overall cost. So 5% of 3,19,288 will work out to be 15,964.44 rupees. Okay. And for work charge establishment and tools and plants and machineries, 10% of the overall cost, that is 10% of 3,19,000. So it will work out to be 31,928.88 rupees. Okay. So once we have calculated overall cost, contingency, work charge establishment and tools and plants and machineries, the last step will be to find out the grand total or the approximate cost of a particular project. So it will be what? Overall cost plus contingencies plus work charge establishment and tools and plants and machineries. So if we add all these things, so A plus B plus C, so 3,19,288.80 plus 15,964 rupees plus this 31,928. So it will work out to be 3,67,182.12 rupees.